We are here with a boot today. It is the Salomon S-Lab MTN Summit that just came out this year. I hear Colby Townsend was a collaborator with this one, and I think Salomon did a great job. Salomon had like a X-Alp carbon or something that walked phenomenal, but skied terrible. They also had their original MTN boot, which skied amazing, but was super heavy and doesn't walk very good compared to other boots. It looks like they dialed this one in to kind of be the best of both worlds. I see this boot as a contender against my favorite all-around light touring boot, the Scarpa F1. And so that's the boot I'm gonna kind of compare this to. This boot, out of the box, with its liner and the footbed that comes with it, 1,180 grams. So right off the bat, compared to like an F1 right out of the box, F1s come in at 1,250. So the boot itself, a little bit lighter. I measured the shells themselves, and the shell was noticeably lighter than the F1. Range of motion, I think this advertises like 70 or 65. I mean, it's up there with all the, I think it's identical to whatever the F1 is. This uses the BOA system on the top. In the last couple of years, I've had a love-hate relationship with BOA. It provides such a great fit, but sometimes it does not provide the foothold that I need in a boot. In a boot like the F1 LT, I just could never crank that BOA down enough to get a good solid, foothold. And I felt like I just had too much movement while I was skiing. Now the regular F1, I think I even have one here. The regular F1 uses, a plastic piece here in combination with the BOA. So it did a much better job of just kind of giving me a good foothold without, crushing my foot. Salomon has come up with this pretty cool little system here where it has this strap that comes right across that ankle. And as you tighten the BOA, that cinches down. And there's a combination of kind of like almost, there's some plastic here, but also the BOA going back and forth, and especially this little strap that cinches down. I felt like really did a great job of providing the foothold that I needed. I went out and skied this boot, and immediately I felt like it was as stiff or stiffer than the F1, but I was very disappointed with the liner in this boot, the stock liner. This is the liner that comes with the Salomon MTN Summit. And if you look at this liner, and then here's a liner this is from the Scarpa F1 LT, like their even lighter boot. The LT is like a 1,050 gram boot. If you look, like the tongues in here on the Scarpa is nice and dense and kind of thick, that Intuition tongue, where this is like this thin, really squishy, super squishy, and then you just have thin material. All around this liner, there's just not much like substance to it. It's very, I don't know, it's just not very dense. Where Scarpa, with their partnership with Intuition, you always get this nice, a supportive liner in it. And this liner is much more comfortable and I think skis better. And like I said, this is from the F1 LT than the liner that came with the Salomon. I felt I was getting massive shin bang. I could feel instantly, I could just feel the shell against my shin. I could feel the shell through the liner. It was weird, like this liner I molded it, but it didn't feel like the space molded where it needed to mold, and I was still getting foot pain on the front. So I happened to have an extra F1 liner laying around that I had put in some other boots. Put this liner in, and immediately all my problems or all my complaints went away. And I feel like this is the appropriate liner for this boot. The fit of this boot, if you can tell, if you were to compare like an F1 against the Salomon, you can tell that this has a massive toe box. Now it doesn't necessarily have a super wide forefoot. It is roomy, I'd say it's wider, it's not narrow by any means, but the toe box itself is just huge. Heel hold is good. The power buckle works great. I love that it has a lock on the open. So on the, on the transitions, in theory, I feel like it has enough give that I can just open, for the uphill. But the power strap, this is a little, nitpick qualm I have. I don't understand why touring boot manufacturers are still using these plain Jane regular Velcro power straps. When they have this like awesome quick release, loosen the power strap, but it needs a quick release on the upper power strap here, and maybe one of those cam locks. In fact, the F1 had that same style, and I just replaced it with this Dynafit. And man, it makes transitions so awesome when you can just go cloop for open, cinch, for the up, and it makes it that much easier. Now, I was going to do the same thing. I thought, oh, I can just unscrew this power strap, swap in another one, but they actually riveted the power strap to the cuff up here. So if I want to take it off, I'm gonna have to drill out the rivet. The ski to walk mode, it's pretty cool on this. It's just this one side lever, that is walk mode. Uses kind of the spine, and this is ski mode. And it's cool because it works in conjunction with your power strap here. So you get to the bottom, transition, pull open, open. But then you gotta fiddle with your power strap. But you get to the top, you're ready to transition, close, close. It's almost like one movement. I like that aspect. Again, if we could, the upper power strap to kind of play into that whole thing. Good sole. I guess they're going green, using some recycled rubber down here. I haven't really noticed any difference between other touring boots. If you're maybe a ultralight Skimo-ish type guy who, man, just would love to see what a real beef boot feels like, this could be a beef boot for you. This could be, a supercharger. You would feel like, Bodie Miller skiing in this thing. Now, also, if you are on the other side of the spectrum, you're used to skiing those four buckle, Alpine style, touring boots. This could be a boot that kind of whets your appetite a little bit into maybe going a little bit lighter. Or this is a boot that could help you dip your pinky toe into the world of light touring. And then if you're someone like me who, I like lightweight. I like to go as light as I can, but still ski the way I want to and ski the skis I want to ski. This is right up there. I'd say, this is a top contender. The F1, I think, is still a great boot. I think the F1 might fit my foot still a little bit better, but this has been a great boot to try out this year. How does this ski compared to an F1? I've just done the mother of all tests. We skied down Heaven's Halfpipe, about a solid 3,000 foot shot before we even got back to our Skinner. And the Salomon S-Lab MTN Summit is now my favorite boot at the 1,200 gram or less point. It is lighter than the F1, the heel pocket is better, and it skis stronger. So if the boot fits, you might want to check it out.